All righty. Hello there, everyone. We are trying a different setup. Thank you for your patience with all of this. We're trying this new system of technology, and we are unsure as to whether the new system is going to work as well as the old system. So we are moving through multiple variations and permeations of this system to see what works best. So thank you for your patience on that. So we had a live just a moment ago on all 4 platforms. We are now moving that live to a direct TikTok live. Let me see if I can bring Alex on here. Hey there.
We are live.
We are live. So what I did is I set another device up to mimic the screen on TikTok.
Yes, sir.
So if you can, take a look and see if it looks like it's coming through well on Restream.
I am looking now.
So I'm just so disappointed that toggle didn't work, man. I was hoping it was going to work.
There goes the train. Let's see. Go to Explore. Look for my buddy Sam.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
So we switched off of Restream, went to TikTok Direct, and now we're doing the Restream via another device, like we used to do. Yeah. And see, look, Alex, we're already up over 80 people. They must nick it.
I showed 34 on my screen.
Yeah, I showed 36.
I've got 99, 102.
Strange.
So they must nick it for going through Restream, I'm guessing. So let's see here. So let's see what we got going here. We've got a bunch of people piling in. Great. Everybody on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. Let's get a bunch of people piled in here.
Fix your flag, Sam. Your flag is backwards.
Oh, it is? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference to me. Just some people take it offensively.
All right, how's that?
Perfect.
Okay, cool. All right.
But when you flip it here, it's backwards on your X stream.
Oh, jeez. Are you kidding me? Jeez. Hey, everybody. Sorry, we're trying some new options with technology. So my apologies, but thanks for hanging in there with us. Thanks for joining us back up again. We got Christy B from Hayesville, Kansas. Your neighbor, Alex.
Yep, I'm in the southeast corner of Kansas.
We got DP Rather here with us. Great. Corbin Brandy just joined us. Welcome. So, Lee Moore is here.
In 8 days or 7 days now, that E-Island client list is going to be released.
I mean, so we've been told. We'll see.
Exactly. We'll see.
Wow.
We will see.
How about the Big D list as well?
Are you talking about the Mike Obama situation?
No, the Diddy list.
Because you said the Big D list.
That's the other Big D. I know.
We can't take him anywhere.
I know. So we got Jason Kinner here. Hey, everybody on TikTok, Rumble, YouTube, X, send us a message and let us know where you're located so we can say hello.
I'm still seeing the same numbers,
44.
Now we went up to 120. Now it's down to 59, 60. I don't know what's going on with this. You know, they just started this progressive live thing for me. I don't even know what the hell it means. But they have, it's called Progressive Live Rewards or something. So maybe that's affected it.
So wait a minute. Progressive Live? So you're telling us you joined the White Dudes for Harris campaign?
No. Jason Keener said it's not the first time we've heard that, but I'll be proud if it gets released. I'm sure it will, Jason. And Jason's coming in from Michigan. I just think that you have to warm up the population. You have to bring them up to speed to some level, at some level. Otherwise, it's the same analogy of a frog jumping into hot water. They're either going to die or jump out. And you have to take it slow. Hey, Linda Lewis from Ridgecrest, welcome. So that old adage about the cruise ship, taking some time to make that turn. I think that's where we're at right now.
That video that I sent you, the FAFO video.
Yeah, the music one.
It is going straight viral, sir.
Is it really?
So good.
Can you bring it up and just play just a couple seconds of it?
Oh, I mean, I'd love to play the whole thing. You kidding me?
No, let's do like 30 seconds of it just to give people a
We should
taste.
have took down Elon and put Trump more of the center stage guy.
Oh no, he's banging the skins from the background. I think it's perfect. Let's see. Make sure the volume's good. We'll have to.
Did you create that video, Alex?
I'm like Cash Patel. I had nothing to do with it.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's see. We'll get centered here on the screen. You rigged the game. You changed the rules. For those of you that want to see the whole video, if you hop over to my profile, I actually posted it. It should be the first video at the top of my page. It's freaking amazing. It's so good.
Yeah, it was. It very much so. Hey, Weezer, you're back. Great. Glad you can make it back with us.
And I posted the clean version, so it doesn't drop the F-bomb, but there is other versions out there that are fully lyrically unedited.
Wow. Hey, everybody on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. If you can contribute to our daily goal, it would be appreciated. If you're on X, YouTube, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up or the positive affirmation button. So as far as current events today, Alex, what have you seen or what have you heard? Anything recently?
Well, it's kind of quiet today.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Unless you listen to all the propaganda crybaby news stations. I haven't really. Let's see. Trump came out. We said that he who saves his country does not violate the law. That's good news. Let's see what else. A couple hours ago, he put out a actually lengthy truth on Truth Social about trade and tariffs. Let's see.
So there was a post on Telegram today, and it showed a graveyard, for lack of a better term, in China of electric scooters. And there are tens of thousands of electric scooters where the batteries have died, and it's not cost effective to replace the batteries. It is mind blowing. It's got to be acres of old electric scooters that are now not serving anybody anymore and are gone.
Yep. Breaking. Representative Brandon Gill promotes petition to arrest and deport Ilhan Omar back to Somalia.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Doge is demanding a full investigation into Senator Elizabeth Warren's multi-million-dollar fortune. The American people deserve transparency, accountability from their elected officials.
Hell yeah.
Wow, we just got Rose. Kimmer just sent 30 roses. Thank you so much, Kimmer. It's truly appreciated. That's really cool.
Kimmer's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
She's awesome.
Leonard Little said, when will we see AOC be accountable for her actions and go to prison as well as Letitia James? I don't think it's going to be much longer.
I don't think it's going to be much longer. Our new border czar has already said that they're going to look into whether or not her posting things helping people evade ICE. It's been referred over for someone that can't file charges to look at. So it's coming so hard and so fast from so many different directions.
It
bro.
truly is, Alex.
Was there any update on the Canadian prime ministers and the Trump meeting the other day?
You know, that's right. There was 13 of them that were coming over, Alex. I didn't hear anything more about it. Did you?
I have not.
There was another video posted on Telegram, and it was Trump 38 years ago calling out how the United States has been taken advantage of by all these other countries, and they're not paying their fair share. That was 38 years ago.
Oprah Winfrey Show?
I'm not sure if it was Oprah or not, but the fact that he's been at this for that long, wow. We have Subtle Chaos 17. Hey, Subtle, it said that Ilhan Omar is an enemy. Isn't that the truth?
It did happen.
It did?
It happened this last week, but we have yet to hear premieres. Let's see. I don't see any new. Okay, here's one from Toronto News. Very significant day at the White House. Canadian premiers say that talks with Trump administration were constructive.
Huh.
So it happened.
Yeah, in regards to Ilhan Omar, Sherry Lynn Aldrich said it's an obstruction of justice on the federal level. That's very true. And as we move closer with Doge, I think that we're going to see a whole lot of.
Is there another word for obstruction of justice at the federal level? Maybe treason?
Yeah, you think? Exactly. Oh, and that's right. What is the penalty for treason in America? Oh, that's right. They tried to change that.
TikTok, be careful.
I know. They tried to change it, but they were unsuccessful.
That's right. And I think that if that comes, when that comes to fruition, those that would have some sort of inkling to pull the same kind of shit again would probably think twice about it. And we might just make it another 250 years without dealing with this crap.
Exactly. I think the punishment has to be severe enough to keep anybody else from trying it again. And I think that's what they're doing. And I think that's part of why it's taking so long. That Hydra has been infiltrated into so many areas, not only here in America, but around the world, that it's going to take time to get it out.
1 second. The latest. Continue on. I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Sherry Lynn Aldrich said, hanging up your coat. I don't really know what that means, but maybe you can give me a little more information. Jason Keener said, oh, go ahead, Alex.
Everybody needs to go watch the latest podcast. It's not the latest, the next to latest, with Joe Rogan and Mike Benz. If you want to know how long this has been going on, you want to know how deep the rabbit hole. Mike Benz is a U.S. Department, used to be an official with the U.S. Department of State. He's like a General Flynn. He knows where the bodies are buried. And if you go watch that podcast, I guarantee by the end of it, you're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
You're going to be real pissed.
I haven't seen it yet. What are some of the highlights of it?
He just, nothing you and I don't already know, Sam, about how deep the rabbit hole goes, how long the government funding, Sarah Adams was on with Sean Ryan talking about how we've been funding ISIS and funding the Al-Qaeda to the tune of like 40 million a week for a very long time. Well, we now know that was all through USAID, and he elaborates on it. I mean, it's mind-bending. Wow. The amount of waste and fraud that has gone on for decades,
right,
folks.
Right, and there's more and more talk and chatter about refunds on our taxes for the last several years.
Well, you got to get the money back first.
Yeah,
and I've said it over and over. You can't rob a jewelry store, get caught, and keep the diamonds.
Right. No, I agree. And who's to say that maybe some of that hasn't already happened? Sean K68 said Trump just signed an executive order freeing up 625 million acres offshore for drilling lease. I didn't know that. Thanks, Sean.
Well, that's what the Gulf of America came into.
Well, it could be off the shore there. It could be off the shore in Alaska. It could be anywhere. I don't really know where that was delegated.
His most recent that has made it to the Federal Register was on the 12th, so I haven't seen anything new posted.
Bellows 98 said they are deeply embedded. That is very, very true.
From what I heard from a friend of mine, the reason why Trump enforced the Gulf of America change was to drill around those areas, because when it was the Gulf of Mexico, they needed permission from Mexico to drill.
Oh, interesting.
That was the power move for oil.
No, anything that is more than 100 miles or 20 miles,
Yeah.
Is international waters.
Right. So they can't really restrict that, right? Subtle Chaos said we're at war. Just the schematics have changed. It's very true. We have been at war for some time. And you can even go back to executive orders from Bush Sr., where those states of emergency have still been in play. So again, you're right. There's a lot going on. Let's see. So Cheryl said, what about the homelessness? Yes, that's another portion. We have, how much money are we sending to at foreign aid when we have veterans that are living on the street? That is just absolutely unacceptable, in my opinion.
Innocent people in North Carolina, families, children.
Yeah, Leonard Little said, 925 said, we have to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Well, I think that's, in my opinion, that's already happened. They just haven't rolled it out. If you go back to Yahoo News in March of 2020, you'll see an article, essentially Trump instructing the IRS, the Federal Reserve, to be folded in to the Treasury, Department of Treasury. And I personally have seen letterhead that says IRS, Department of the Treasury now. So I think that's happening at light speed as well. I think there's so many things happening, but again, you can't inundate people. They won't be able to assimilate it. You have to do it in a way that they can assimilate it.
I think it's got to be a slow and constant feed. And as that narrative continues to build, that's when the Moabs come.
Yeah.
Mother of all bombs.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they're incoming now. Andy Wilson 907 said, when is cash getting confirmed? I heard different stories. Now, the last I heard was going to be, well, I had heard 17th Monday, but that's President's Day, so I don't know. But last time I heard it's supposed to be Monday or Tuesday. Do you have any updates, Alex?
I was just looking.
Texas Jill 378 said they still can't assimilate it. Well, I think there's a lot of truth in that, Jill. But I think we're moving into a place where people are going to be able to assimilate it. But again, it takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen over a few weeks. It doesn't happen over a few months. It takes years to change the course of that ship.
I think they should not play it out so slowly. The way the nefarious people played out their agendas quickly.
No, Ronnie, it was actually the opposite. They did it on a very slow burn over decades. It wasn't fast. The last 4 years, I think, was more of a show. But no, in the last 5 decades, it was a very slow burn.
They still haven't got it on the schedule, Sam. I don't see it.
Okay. All right.
They are going to push that off until one of two things happens. I think our president gets pissed and uses some other means to temporarily put him where he needs to be, or they're going to have to just call the vote and make it happen.
Yeah.
I think that waiting until Vance gets back in the event that there's a 50-50 scenario is potentially part of the reason that they put it off, but right. I don't know.
Right, exactly. Francis just sent us some roses. Thank you so much, Francis. If you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. If you can contribute to our daily goal, that would be wonderful. If you're on X, YouTube, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up or the positive affirmation button. Subtle Chaos said Mike Benz and Tucker is a must watch.
Oh, absolutely.
I haven't seen it yet.
Absolutely.
Lily wants to know why it's being delayed. Well, Lily, my opinion is at this point, they have nowhere to go. They know it. They're just trying to postpone the inevitable. And it's kind of like a chess game. You know,
They're trying to buy more time to get their house sold, their offshore accounts set up, and attorneys hired.
Exactly. That's
And
exactly
not to
right.
mention, Alex, they have time to clean the white baggies around their offices.
Yeah. Francis said 28th is a big protest. I'm not sure what protest you're talking about, Francis. Maybe you can give us some more details. Hey, Texas Jill is here. Hey, Jill. All right. So we've got, let's see. Texas Jill said, yes, you got to watch. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much happening, you guys. FD RM1964 said FDT and FEM. I'm not sure what that represents. But
Federal Department of Trade and FEMA, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, see, the numbers are coming up on this one, Alex. I'm showing 155.
I'm seeing 114 now, but we've also been on for a while, so either or.
Well, we've been on now for 21 minutes. We were at 30 and we never got past 50, I don't think, on the other, or 40 on the other one. They must be hampering the feed somehow, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it also could be the combination of, and I don't know. When I use your Restream link, I am not telling TikTok that I'm on. So maybe I'm obviously not pulling 80,000 followers like you, but no. I don't know if that has something to do with it. Plus Ronnie, and I don't know.
I don't either.
The engagement, clicks, likes, people commenting, that also bumps the algorithm. So those of you that are tapping the screen, sharing gifts, sharing out the live, commenting, Sam appreciates it. We appreciate Sam, and it supports what he does to help us all get that little tidbit of daily dispatch that we need.
Thank you, Alex. So Mega Dave's back on. Great. Thanks, Mega Dave. I'm glad you made it back on.
Hey, Albert, how's it going?
So here in California, you know what our gas has gone up to? It's gone up to almost $4.50 a gallon now. It was down at $3.99, $3.79, and then in the last 2 weeks, it's gone up significantly. And I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, when retailers know that they're only going to be able to make so much money for so much longer, they're probably going to capitalize for as long as they possibly can before the end is near.
It could be, but they brought it up so quick. That was weird. Sissy Trump, hi from St. Louis, Missouri. Hey, Sissy, I'm glad you made it back over. Something's up said, just came in the room. What and who is delaying? We're talking about the Kash Patel confirmation, and it's been delayed. They delayed it for a week, and now we're not really sure if it's going to be on.
They delayed it the whole way along. They delayed the hearings, and then they delayed the committee vote, and then it finally made it out of committee, and we're now waiting for it to hit the Senate floor so that we can get our final vote.
Right. Subtle Chaos said, when Trump mentions that he's going to do something, just understand it's already been in the works. I agree. I don't think there's any way in 3 weeks' time that he could.
5G tests.
Yeah, 5G. Exactly. Exactly right. Let's see. Texas Jill said, do you all think Trump had I like that, had this info since his first term? Yeah, I think it goes back even further than his first term. 100%. I think that this whole push started, in my opinion, back when JFK was unalived. I think that's when this consortium of patriots got together and said, hey, we got to do something about this. Now, whether we'll ever see that, I don't know. Something's up said gas is $2.89 in coastal North Carolina.
Yeah.
Wow. Pennsylvania decreased to $2.22. Holy cannoli. Jeez. Yeah, you guys, you don't know what it's like over here in California. It's a whole nother world. Jan, thank you for the heart me. It's appreciated.
Hamas released 3 more hostages.
Today is Saturday.
Yeah.
House Republicans prepared to impeach federal judges that are trying to block DOGE. After years of being the whipping boy for climate, coal industry sees a brighter future today under Trump. There's all kinds of headlines over here.
Yeah. Andy Wilson said, "How long can this delay last?" Well, it's a limited amount of time. I didn't think they had more than a week that they could push it, but now I'm hearing reports that there's something else that they can file. I don't know.
Their days are numbered. How about the the drone hitting Chernobyl? Russia immediately coming out and saying it wasn't us.
Right. False flag.
I mean, sure seems like it to me.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Yeah, Mandy Hasman said, "When is grocery prices going down and gas went up?" Well, again, I think it takes time, Mandy. I don't think this is going to happen overnight, and I think that there has to be some pain for people to really recognize what's gone on. You can't make a transition without people realizing what had to take place in order for that to happen. What do you guys think? Oh, okay.
He has a white dudes for Harris meeting.
Yeah. Cindy said America asked for a full audit after JFK. 60 years America waited. Mega Dave said we're down in price here in Iowa. Interesting. Well, California, I think 50 or 60 cents a gallon is attributed directly to the California state tax. And now Newsom has proposed this other thing where it's going to bump us by another 50 cents a gallon. It's just out of control here, completely out of control. Mega Dave said, I believe that was a made-up story, last desperate attempt. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Dave.
The Russian thing where they're saying it wasn't us.
Oh, right, false flag, yeah. Jana Carolyn Lewis said $5.39 gas in Petaluma, California. Holy cannoli.
So I'm typing in these searches and I'm like, why do I keep getting Canadian newspapers, Canadian TV shows? My VPN's connected to Canada, right?
Oh.
Let me come back over stateside, folks. And in any other country we want to check the news?
Right, exactly. Steve Woolham said, can't have eggs unless you've got chickens. Well, that's very true. It's kind of a basic concept there, Steve.
That's hysterical.
Is there any development with the Israel-Palestine nonsense happening?
Well, the hostages got released today.
Okay.
Mega Dave said energy prices first, then everything else will follow. I agree, Mega Dave. I think you're absolutely right. But again, it takes time. We have Cindy said, I thought Clinton would do a full audit, but no, I can't imagine him doing anything that would be the right thing. Darcy Mason, a hand heart. Thank you, Darcy. Again, if you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. If you can contribute to our daily goal of 100 rosas, that would be wonderful. And if you're on X YouTuber Rebel, give us the positive affirmation button or the thumbs up, please. Karen, Care Bear just sent 4 roses. Thank you, Care Bear.
Oh, hey, we got an update. So if you go to doge.gov, the very first page, they're starting to put some updates out there. The savings page is still waiting for the numbers to show up, but we are starting to see some updates on that page. So if you want to know what's going on with the Department of Government Efficiency, it's doge.gov.
Right, exactly. Thanks, Alex. Hey, James, glad you're here. He said good evening, so he must be on the East Coast. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is.
12:30 our time.
Oh, okay. Tax Trainer said, Sam, I believe it's 60-cent tax. Yeah, I think you're right. It's 50, 60 cents extra tax here in California. And now he's trying to bump it another 50 or 60 cents. It's ridiculous. Oh, Darcy just sent us a bunch of roses. Thank you, Darcy. Very sweet of you.
On the state you're in. It's like, I think I told you this story, Sam. My nephew was in the Army for 8 or 10 years. And he opted to get out. I'll keep the reasons private, but honorable discharge. But there were some individuals that were in there with him that were very against all of the things that we're seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
And my nephew's a smart man, and he said, "Well, okay, all of us are the same rank, right? We have a California person, we have a Washington person, we have an Oregon person, and then we have my nephew who's from Texas. And he's like, we're all the same rank, so we all get the same pay, right? And they're all like, right. And he said, well, how much tax is taken out of your check? And I think California said like 900, and Oregon and Washington were like 600 and 750 or something like that. And he said, well, what would you do with an extra $900 a month? And California was like, man, I mean, that'd get a pretty nice pickup truck. That's a nice car payment, right? Like, I do this, I do that. He asked the same of Washington, Oregon. What would you do? And they're like, well, that'd go great towards a house, blah, 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 blah. He's like, yeah, you're right. That's money in your pocket. That's awesome. He goes, you want to know how much they take out of my check? They're like, how much? He goes, 200.
Wow.
So, and of course they're like, oh, that's BS. That's crap. That's this, that's that. And he goes, yeah, that's you going along with the agenda of your state. And what is that money going towards? What could you have done with that money? So people that are upset about things really need to ask the questions and dig in. And I think the way that America is starting to wake up is they're seeing where that extra truck payment every month is now going. And I've said it 100 times, you can't rob a jewelry store and get caught and get to keep the diamonds too. So clawing it back, the articles about how much we're clawing back at this point, a lot of people are upset that, some programs that maybe were doing some good things around this country are feeling the hit as well. And while that's true, I believe in my heart of hearts that at some point, those programs will be able to be funded again, but it's going to have to be in a way that's accountable and not blank fields in a spreadsheet.
Well, and I need another fundamental issue too is the voting. People think that we're voted for these people here. We didn't. There's a lot of skullduggery going on there.
They're installed.
What's that?
They're installed.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Care Bear just sent a bunch of roses. Thank you so much, Care Bear.
I want to address one of the comments from Faith Cheyenne. She said, hey, can you guys just maybe leave Canada alone? Like, we just want to mind our own business. Well, what I want to say to that is, okay, well, don't ask for $250 billion a year defense budget. Close your borders and don't allow immigrants to cross into our nation.
And as far as look, 13 of your premiers for the first time in history just all came to the White House. Why is that?
Right.
And if we did happen to join forces in some way, I would ask you the same question. How much of your taxes are you currently having to pay? Because I know Canada pays way more than we do.
Yeah.
How much good could you do with that money back in your pocket? So if we really start to understand what that relationship would look like if it was a cooperative relationship, I think it's a win-win for both sides of the border.
I do too. Linda Lewis just sent us a bunch of gifts. Thank you so much, Linda. I think, and I have a lot of friends in Canada, and I would say the overwhelming majority are for some sort of a cooperative agreement. Now, what does that look like? Is it actually the 51st state? Is it more of the USMCAA? I don't know. But something's going to happen. I don't think President Trump would be saying it this much and this loud unless there's something in the works.
Is it also a diversion? Look at the right hand while the left hand's going the other direction.
Could be.
Cindy, you said 38% for a single person in America. And that number is misleading and deceiving because you're paying tax at every single purchase that you make. Yeah. Right. And then on top of that, there may be property taxes. And on top of that, there's income taxes. And on top of that, the products and goods that you're buying are having to pay taxes to be able to let you buy the property or the goods or whatever the case may be. So if I go out and I buy this pen, okay, well, the ink has been taxed, the spring has been taxed, the clicking mechanism patent has been taxed, the store that's selling it has been taxed. Like it's compounded tenfold over just what we pay on our income taxes. And that's where the fleecing of America has gotten out of control.
Exactly.
In California, we pay, at least I pay a $4.99 electronic surcharge tax on my cell phone bill every month.
Right. It's ridiculous. Hey, Care Bear just sent a bunch of crystal roses. Thank you so much, Care Bear. It's appreciated. Linda sent more gifts. Thank you, Linda.
But speaking of taxes, I seen what Sam was talking about this morning, that Florida no longer charges property tax, and Tennessee is following with them.
No. They're proposing property tax elimination. They haven't done it yet. Tennessee, on the other hand, has anybody who was affected by Hurricane Helene. They are getting refunded for their 2023 property taxes or 2024, I don't remember which, plus an extra 30% on top of it. There should be no property tax. As Alex has brought up multiple times, we are living in a communist manifesto world here in America. And in the Communist Manifesto, they basically state there shall be no personal property. And that's part of what's...
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it.
Exactly.
Which that's not what this republic was founded on.
Right.
This republic started because of taxation without representation.
Exactly.
Because I couldn't own this pen. This pen was not mine. This pen was on loan.
They went to war over tea tax. A tax on tea. And how much are we paying? 68 cents on every dollar? No, I agree with you. Subtle Chaos said, I'm just sitting back and waiting for the Susan Rice part of the game. Oh, that's gonna be heavy. That's gonna be big. And I question is, I don't know how many of these from past are going to be exposed. I think the Obamas probably, maybe the Bushes. We'll see. I don't know.
It could go all the way back to Reagan, buddy.
Yeah. Andy Wilson said too much money laundering going on. It's exactly right. Why are we sending 1 penny in foreign aid to another country when we have homeless veterans here in America, while we have people, I mean, right?
Say it again.
Well, I don't think we should be sending 1 penny in foreign aid to any other country until our veterans are taken care of, until our roads are fixed, until our bridges are repaired. These are basic national concerns that there should be no money sent anywhere until these things and many more are addressed and handled.
Because a weak nation can't defend itself. A weak nation can't transport goods and people to the places they need to be able to defend itself. It's the systematic destruction of what is the last beacon on the hill.
Which is another reason why RFK Jr. is so important, because I firmly believe that the majority of Americans really want to do the right thing, but they are so toxic, they are so nutritionally deficient that physically they don't have the energy to do it. We have to fix the food supply. What?
Speaking of it, let's really talk about the profound circle of things coming back around. Like, we had a Kennedy standing in the White House. At the same time, the files of his uncle are being released so that we know the truth. Like, oh my God, it's coming so fast and so hard from so many directions, Sam.
I know.
What an amazing time to be alive.
I agree.
If we stop sending money to foreign aid, how is Afghanistan or Iraq supposed to get their version of Sesame Street?
Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Liz said Pelosi has been in office since 1987. Yeah, and she looks like the crypt keeper. She's got to go.
Pelosi's been in politics since JFK was inaugurated.
Yeah.
Over 60 years.
JW Nelly 408 sent a goat. Thank you so much, JW. You know, if you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out to all of your people. And if you can contribute to our daily goal, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hey, Jack, thanks for stopping by, brother. Anytime, man.
But more importantly, since we're in California, Sam, what is your take on climate change?
I think it is a joke. It's a way for them to garner more of our money. If you look at it, I look at it in a very simplistic way. We've been monitoring temperatures for, I don't know, let's say even 250 years. It hasn't really been that long, okay? 300 years maybe. And if you look at the world or the universe, if you look at it from a creationist standpoint, they believe that the earth is somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 years old. If you look at it from an evolutionary standpoint, it's billions of years old. On either one of those scenarios, if we've only got a slice of pie that's 300 years versus 6 to 10,000 years, or 300 years versus billions of years, we are not in a position to make a logical, common sense choice as to whether we are heating up or cooling down. And people argue with the carbon-14 dating. Well, here's the problem with carbon-14 dating. Carbon-14 dating assumes that they know how much carbon was in the atmosphere at the creation of the universe. It's a guess. We don't know. That's why it's called the theory of evolution. I'm not saying evolution's wrong. I'm not saying creationism is wrong, but the basic premise, the critical thinking portion of it is wrong.
I agree.
Let's see. We have Jan said, I agree. I'm so grateful that I'm here for this exciting time to be alive. It's so true, Jan. It very much is. There's so much happening. I'm just very curious as to how much is going to actually be revealed to the American public, because I think there's a lot of things going on. Let's not forget that the U.S. Army, the military, spent $500 million on training soldiers how to fight subterranean warfare. What do you think that's all about? There's a lot more going on than meets the eye.
Let's see if that money all made it to its destination.
I don't know.
And back to climate change, and there's too many people, depopulation. Like, okay, if you took 8.2 billion people in the world and you gave them each 1 square foot to stand on, the entire world's population can fit in the state of Texas.
Right. I know that. You're absolutely right. Jan, thank you for the roses.
We're not out of room. And with technology, they're making it rain in the Sahara Desert. That's a good thing. I mean, weather modification, they say, doesn't exist, and manipulation doesn't exist, but China talks about making it rain. They talk about making it rain. So is that a bad thing? Is it throwing off the balance of how the ocean evaporates and creates clouds and rains where it's supposed to and doesn't rain where it's supposed to? The manipulation is when they're pumping things into the atmosphere to deflect the sun.
It's bogus. Tam at the ranch said, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this, quote, exciting time, honestly. I get it, Tam. You can look at things at the surface level and be concerned. And I get it. But I am telling you, from being in this for so many years, things are happening that I didn't expect to see in my lifetime.
Tam, what are your concerns?
Yeah, let's hear what you're...
What is it that you're concerned about?
Jan, thank you for all the roses.
And I appreciate your honesty and vulnerability in posing this. We're here to come together. This is not a divisive community.
Right. No, I'm not trying to single anybody out. Cindy said that currently America is a crime-ridden, drug-filled country, needs to be fixed. I agree. And I think that's what's happening. There has been multiple reports over the last 8 years of the cartels being dealt with fiercely. A lot of it doesn't make it into the mainstream, but there is a lot going on there.
The border has gone from 6,000 crossings a day to 300.
Right. Exactly. Our Jeff Code 24 said, it's funny how they go in office and all of a sudden they're all worth millions. You know, I did in my daily dispatch, I think it was yesterday, I listed certain players like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, some others, and what their annual salary is, $200,000. Yet Nancy Pelosi's worth $200 million. Chuck Schumer, $42 million, or whatever the numbers. I don't remember off the top of my head. But you're right. It is all money laundering. It's coming back.
But Sam, all those people wrote books, and they made millions of dollars off of writing books that only sold like 10,000 copies.
Right, exactly. Oh, Mama Soprano just sent a bunch of roses. Thank you, Mama Soprano. It's truly appreciated. You're the best. So, yeah, there's this money laundering that's been going on for decades is being exposed. And as we see more of that exposure take place, there's going to be a lot more of the receipts brought. But again, I think we have to do it in a manner where the majority of the population can assimilate it. Coach B said, love the discussion. Very intelligent. Gotta go. Thanks, Coach B, for being here. Appreciate you. Oh, and user with a bunch of numbers said, oh, just Democrats, right? No, it's not just Democrats. There are rhinos, Republicans in name only. There are independents, people that are nefarious. It doesn't matter what you call them. Like an old wise man once told me, I can't hear a word a person saying because their actions speak so loudly. And
That's it. This isn't a criminal is a criminal, and I don't care what label you put on it.
Yeah.
You're not a better criminal than the other criminal because you're blue, or better criminal than the other criminal because you're red. I want to see all of them called to the task of being correct,
right,
and coming correct with what they've done.
Exactly. Kenny Blessy 285 said Mitch McConnell's among the worst of them. Yeah, and he can't even speak anymore. He gets up on the podium, stands there, and goes silent for 20, 30 seconds, and they have to tap him. I mean, my God, how much more of this do we have to see?
Hey, Chris, on you mean the felon president? Let's see how that plays out over the course of the next 6 months. Let's see what due justice brings to the surface when things are appealed, when things are handled by a non-biased judge in a non-biased courtroom with a non-biased jury. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's not a banana republic where you go after your political enemies with every ounce of the federal government that you can muster, as a previous administration did. And there is plenty of evidence to support that, my friend.
Absolutely. Texas Jill said accountability no matter who. I agree. Texas Jill, absolutely, I agree. Linda Lewis just got the number 2 gifter badge. I had a little trouble with that one. She said, I appreciate your knowledge and sharing with us. Makes me feel better.
On Mitch McConnell. How dare you, Sam?
What's that?
And I said, and you talk smack on Mitch McConnell. How dare you?
Well, I'm telling you, dude, it's not just Mitch McConnell. It's Chuck Schumer. It's Nancy Pelosi. It's, in my opinion, 90% of Congress.
No, I know. I was just making fun of you because you were stumbling on the word, and I'm like, wait a minute, but Mitch McConnell can't talk.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. Thanks a lot, Ronnie. Hey, Susie's here. Hi, Susie.
Susie Bluesy.
Yeah, and then we have, let's see, Mary Flower said, get these cases to the Supreme Court. Well, and I think that's where it's headed. I think that it's headed to the Supreme Court. I think that we're going to have justice served, and it's just a matter of time. Thank you for the rose, Susie.
Yeah, I am non-discriminate along party lines when it comes to criminal activity. All the criminals need to be held to accountability.
Absolutely.
When there is legitimate, documented, trackable proof of nefarious activity, not drummed up charges out of thin air,
right.
Overvaluation or undervaluation to fit the narrative. Like what we're seeing now from the Department of Government Efficiency is the actual numbers. And I'll tell you this, folks, math doesn't lie.
Right, exactly. Texas Jill said she's got to run. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks, Texas Jill. Thanks for being part of it. Devon Alley 2 said, Adam Schiff, they're all akin to each other. Well, it's really interesting. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's nephew, guess who that is? Governor Newsom.
Gavin Newsom.
Oh, what do you know?
Surprise.
Exactly. That's Gomer Pyle right there. And Tam at the ranch said the judges need to be censored too. Well, and I think that's what's happening. I think that's part of what's going on here.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to step down. It was good talking with you guys, and I'll catch up with you both later.
Yeah, all right, Ronnie. Thanks for being here, brother. Have a good day.
Brother.
You too.
Mama Soprano said, it's all so exciting to finally have the truth exposed. It's so true, Mama Soprano. It is just wonderful. Hey, if you're on TikTok, double tap that screen if you would. Share this live out. If you can contribute to our daily goal, that'd be wonderful. And if you have any questions, or let us know where you're at so we can say hello. Thanks, Jan, for the kind words.
Without showing the name, Sam, can I show your mom's badge?
Oh yeah. So everybody, let me give you a little backstory here. So my mother, who is, God rest her soul, was on the grand jury of the grand jury that convicted Sirhan of the you know what of RFK Sr. That's a picture of her badge that I have in my possession now. And I just this morning sent an email to the Department of Health and Human Services with a picture of that badge, telling RFK Jr. that I'm willing to go to work with him and do whatever I can, whether that's him coming on this podcast, whether that's me going and working with HHS. I would like to continue the direction of both of our families for health and justice. And that's a picture of my mom's badge.
That is so flippin' cool, man.
I know, man. It's so cool.
1968, like that's a piece of history right there, buddy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's really cool.
In fact, I think, let me see. Yeah. So it would crack me up too, because Mom, I only remember it happening once or twice before when she was alive. She would be driving and I was a kid. She'd get pulled over and she kept the badge in this wallet type thing. So what she would do is she would flip it open, flash her grand jury badge, and then show her driver's license. And there wasn't one time that she didn't not have a ticket.
So cool.
Yeah, I know. Mom was we in the family called her the general, man. She wasn't playing around. Yeah, it was an honor, Jan. She was a good woman. She was just a good woman in so many ways. And that's just one example of it. So we'll see whether I did get a response from, I sent several emails out and I did get a response saying that they received my email, but they're slammed right now and they'll get back to me. So we'll see.
If Sam, that doesn't produce for you, I might have another route to make that connection for you. We'll see. We'll talk about that online.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, and also a friend of mine, her and her husband are friends with RFK Jr. and they have been for years. And she said she was going to introduce me to him. She doesn't even know about this, but she said she would introduce me to him as soon as things settle down. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh, he's the busiest man on the planet next to Trump right now.
Oh, I'm sure he's got to be. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, everybody on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. Let us know where you're located so we can say hello. We're just kind of chit-chatting here on a Saturday afternoon. Nothing too major, no pressure.
Oh, buckle up. Federal judge, Doge scores big win in court, allows access to data on 3 federal agencies. Federal judge in Washington on Friday handed Elon Musk's government efficiency team a win by declining the request to temporarily block access from sensitive data to all 3 of the latest federal agencies.
Wow. Highly classified is here from Nevada. Highly classified. Hello there. We've got RA from Middle Tennessee here. Welcome, RA. Glad you could make it. So, yeah, Jan is from Texas. Abe is from Maryland. Welcome, you guys. Glad you could make it. So, as I said, this time that we're living in is, I'm sure they're going to look back decades, maybe even hundreds of years from now at this time and say, oh my gosh. Faith says Massachusetts, unfortunately. Come on now, Faith, there's got to be some good going on there. Cindy said we need Doge in Illinois. We need Doge everywhere. Sue Verbicki from Michigan. Welcome, Sue. Yeah, I think that there's probably going to be branches of Doge that are going to infiltrate state level, would be my guess, but we'll see. We have Richard Sherman from Battle Creek, Michigan. Hey, Richard, welcome. You're here. So, again, I'm excited the time that we're living in. I think a lot of good things are happening. And I think buckle up because we just don't know how it's going to play out. Oh, Denise just sent a bunch of roses. Thank you, Denise. It's wonderful. Mama Soprano just sent more roses. Thank you, Mama Soprano. It's truly appreciated. April Burgess said, I hope so. Michigan is totally corrupt. Judy Webb's here from West Virginia. Hey, Judy, welcome.
Well, someone said it's mind-blowing what Doge is finding. I think that if you take just a 40,000 foot view of the federal government for the United States, $211 billion a year in wages for people that are not going to the office. That's just the wages for the people. That's not counting the K-cup coffees that are tens of thousands of dollars.
How about the electricity?
A week for buildings that don't have any employees in them. So why are we ordering all this coffee if there's nobody in the office drinking it? Like, when you really start to grind that wheel and see the wasteful spending, and they're laying it all out in a transparent nature. The only way that we fix anything is transparency, having all the facts. And it's been so difficult for so many decades to get the truth, right? And one of the biggest questions, it's being answered now. There was more than one shooter. Like, the transparency is coming, guys. It's coming.
Very much so. Very much so.
Great time to be alive.
Jaybird from Bradenton, Florida. Welcome, Jaybird. Let's see. We have Ann's 45 from Los Angeles. Wow, another Angelino. Wonderful. Darcy May from Mobile, Alabama. Love it. Welcome, Darcy. Susie Kabluzzi said, I know it's insane. It's so hard to wrap my mind around it. Well, it's hard for a lot of people too, Susie. We're just in the beginning stages of all this. Tam at the ranch said, I think categories like coffee cups and such is a front for something else, frankly. It could very well be. Yeah.
100%. User asked the question, how do you feel that they are scourging around for money for tax cuts for them? I don't, that's not what I'm seeing. That may be what the news is trying to get you to think, but that's not what I'm seeing. Right. I think what's going to trickle down to all of us, not just them, is a transparent government where when there is $10 that goes into the system, I'll be able to track that $10 from the time it went into the system to the time it landed where it needed to land and it got spent on what it was supposed to be spent on. And that's transparency. And I think I'm someone else on the platforms made a comment about, I'm more than willing to pay $10 an egg for now because I know that with transparency, I'm going to understand how that egg got to $10, right?
Right.
And with transparency, I can feel comfortable knowing that our government did everything they could to keep costs where they needed to be versus $10,000 a week in coffee going to an empty office.
Exactly. Richard Sherman said, cash is coming and cuffs are going to be applied. Very true. Hey, 6U7Y8's here. He said, I'm not sure 6U7Y8 if you're a man or a woman, but I apologize. They said, I'm upset that there are so many dishonest people. Well, it's been going on for a long time, and I'm just glad that it's getting revealed now. And user said, you're taking Elon's word for it. No, I think at some level, yes, I think we are, but I think the proof will be in the pudding when we start seeing the effects of what's taking place.
If what they're doing is legal, they wouldn't be blocked in court. Well, the fact is they're not blocked in court. Just because you have one judge in one city in one federal district that says so, it's got to go through the system. And I think it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court. And I think everybody's going to find out that what is happening is 100% by the book, by the law, as it's supposed to be. And we'll be able, again, through transparency, to see every single question for you. What would you do, user? with an extra $500 or $600 a month back into your bank account. What would you do with that?
Right.
Would you rather spend it on K-cups and Bangladesh studies and Sesame Street
Condoms in Pakistan?
what would you rather spend that money on?
Right. Exactly. 6U7Y8 said no tax on tips and overtime tells you where Trump's head is at. Very true. That's very true, 6U748.
I'm not getting the money, user. You're not getting the money. Nobody's getting the money but the politicians right now, sir. And I think that's what you're going to find.
Right. I agree. But again, it's going to take time for it to reveal itself in full. Richard Sherman said, love listening to real news for a change. Thanks, Richard. We're glad you're here.
User, let's do this, user. I got $100 bill in my pocket. I will write your username down on it. Okay. And in 1 year, if you and I aren't seeing that money coming back into our pockets, I'll send you that $100, brother.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, I think it's true too.
But if we are seeing that money back in a year, you want to send me $100 bill?
Well, we'll see. Our Jeff Coat 24 sent a rose. Thanks so much, our Jeff Coat. Mama Soprano said some more roses. You're wonderful, Mama Soprano. Thank you so much. Upscale Prawn 12 said $55,000 for toilet seats. It's BS. I agree.
This is nothing new. The federal government and the military have been buying $10,000 hammers for 30 years.
Yeah.
Why does a hammer cost $10,000, folks? Contracts. And the politicians that are getting those contracts are getting a kickback for selling $10,000 hammers to the military. Exactly.
And let's not forget about $2.3 trillion back in 2001 that the Pentagon was unable to account for. How many audits have they failed? Exactly.
Jim, my friend, unlike a lot of people out there, I'm a man of my word. And for you to say that about me not knowing me just shows your ignorance, sir. I absolutely would make that bet.
Yeah, I agree. I know Alex. If he says it, he'll do it. So Sue Verbecki said Green Deal was a money laundering scam. It absolutely was. So was the Paris Climate Accords. So was all of this climate change BS. It was a way for them to extract more money from the populations all around the world.
It's a shell game, guys. We can move those shells 15 times and then you don't know where the ball's at, right? And what they're uncovering is there are payments made with no notes as to who was paid, what was paid for. Like anybody that understands basic accounting or has been a business owner or understands business at all, in your accounting system, you have accounts payable and accounts receivable, and those can't be blank or you can't reconcile the accounts.
Right.
Like that is the absurdity that is happening in the federal government. There's money flying everywhere and there's no notes as to who's getting it or why they're getting it. Why is that so hard for people? Why are you so upset about that?
Right.
Like, I don't understand why you are upset about that.
Yeah, Ryan said it's been mind-boggling that people want to send money overseas instead of fixing problems here at home. Very true.
I've been fighting SSD. I had a brain tumor in October 23rd. Still fighting them. They should fire them all. George, brother, many prayers for you. My brother passed from lung cancer that metastasized to brain cancer. It's a sad thing that we have to fight so hard to get medical care. And I think that with the changes that are coming, with the money that will begin flowing in this country, I think we're all going to see the benefits of the little bit of chaos that we're seeing right now with the change up. I think RFK is going to come in and clean up the system. I think he's going to help get things into a perspective from pharmaceutical and medical malfeasance. It's all coming, guys.
I agree.
Really believe that.
We got a question over on X. I'm sorry, I didn't see it right now, from Anthony saying, what do you guys think about DeSantis saying he wants to eliminate property tax? Well, we talked about it a little while ago, Anthony, and I think that there are things that Ron DeSantis does that are foreshadowing what's going to take place in America. And the legislation has been entered in Florida to eliminate property tax. Do I think that that's going to happen in Florida? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen in America? Yes. How quickly? That's a different story. Hope that answered your question. Thank you for the question over on X. Tam at the ranch said 9 audits, I think. Remember the one that failed the audit right before 9/11? Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, where Donald Rumsfeld came out and said they couldn't account for $2.1 trillion of the Pentagon's budget. That's crazy theft, Sue Vander Verbeek said. Yeah, I agree. So again, Liz said Doge started the audit, the DOD, yesterday. Oh, was that when they started?
I'm going back to comments here. Abe says, where is your optimism coming from? The new budget proposal? No, not necessarily. My optimism is coming from years of understanding from I'm 52. I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm right in the middle, and I've understood from my uncle and my father and those before me the things that they have seen go on, and that brought critical thinking into my world to question what's been going on and to see now things that they've been saying for 40 and 50 years to me come to fruition, that there is no accountability with the system that's been in place. And with transparency, again, folks, math doesn't lie, right? 1 + 1 is 2. And if you take away 8, that's -6. Like, math doesn't lie. And so when we have the transparency and we have the ability as a nation to open up the covers and see what's underneath, it brings about change. That's where my optimism comes from. I'm no longer the crazy conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are I told you so. Like, the conspiracies are all coming to the forefront. More than one shooter. It was said on national television, right? It was said on national television. There was more than one shooter in Daley Plaza, folks.
Yeah.
People have been saying that for decades, and they were labeled as whack jobs, conspiracy theorists. Oh, you don't believe what the government tells you? You're crazy.
Right.
I don't believe what the government tells you, because you don't cover things up for 60 years. You don't seal files for 60 years if you're telling the truth. And how many other events have happened over the course of time that we've had those truths hidden from us? When there is transparency and math doesn't lie, we can all sit down at a table and have a discussion about 1 + 1 = 2, because there's no arguing that.
Right. Exactly. It's called common sense. It's common sense.
Brings us together.
Yeah, I agree. Mama Soprano said we're all taxed to death. It's very true. And we have been for a long, long time. Richard Sherman said chemtrails are leaving our skies. Kennedy is all over it. I agree. I think that he is. Tech Trainers is encouraging everyone to tap the screen and share out this live. Thank you so much.
M. Dylan 02 said Trump started as a Democrat. He did.
Yeah.
And you know, the Democrats of 30 years ago, 40 years ago, man, if you go back and watch some of the speeches and what they wanted and how they wanted it, are not so far off from where the center is today.
Right.
It's just not the same. It's
Right.
just not the same. And why is it not the same? Because they're protecting their piggy banks.
Yep. Exactly.
Math doesn't lie. I don't care what side you're on. Red, blue, independent, middle, whatever. It doesn't matter. Once we have math in front of us, we can sit down at the table and we can figure out how to move forward without a left, without a right, because math doesn't lie.
Right. And that's, like I said earlier, I don't care what you call it. I can't hear a word you're saying because your actions speak so loudly. And that's where it boils down to. And we got to figure that out. Is it blockchain technology that's going to get us there? Probably part of it. But again,
there are people that want to argue with math. You can argue with a brick wall.
Right.
facts are facts, folks.
Right. Yeah. Tech trainer said, doesn't matter what side of the aisle, corruption needs to go. Absolutely very true. Oh, I think we lost Alex somehow. Alex, if you can hear this, come back in. R Jeff Code 24 just sent a rose. Thank you so much. I don't know what happened to Alex, everybody. He was here and then he just disappeared. So anyway, yeah, I guess you guys are seeing him being gone as well. I don't know what took place there. I don't know. Maybe we pissed him off and he just decided I'm done with this. I don't know, but hopefully he'll come back on. So we have, maybe a phone call came in. That could be, yeah. Wizard of Oz said there's no Republican Party and hasn't been for a while, only modern Democrat and far left. Well, again, I don't care what you call them. It's about what they do or don't do. And we are seeing a whole bunch of significant changes, tectonic changes in the government in many different respects. So again, it's not going to happen overnight. Look at how much has happened just in 3 weeks. President Trump has done so much in 3 weeks' time. Could you imagine what it's going to be like in 100 days? Can you imagine what it's going to be like in a year? It's going to be significant. And we have a front row seat to watch it. And I, for one, am glad to see it. Liz said, no one ever paid attention to Ron Paul's list he published every year. Exactly. Ron Paul was screaming, oh, wait a minute. I was reported for misinformation. Please tell me what was misinformation. Wow. Does that mean you can't come back on, Alex? I don't know. Trump is doing exactly what he said. Susie, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, everybody. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. It's been wonderful. It's been, wow, almost close to an hour and a half. Sorry, Alex. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what you said that pissed somebody off, but oh my gosh. So anyway, everybody, have a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you all for being here. We'll be going live again, maybe later today, maybe Monday. We'll see. But keep your heads up. Have your heads on a swivel. And above all, enjoy life. Hug your loved ones. Go outside, get some sun, breathe some fresh air. And let's just make today as good as today can be. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.